Wilson said that one of his goals is to be more of a threat at 5-on-5. Part of that is starting to score dirty goals, be around the net a little bit more. For him, what's the best way for him to go about that while also, not getting out of his game?
Intention is a great start. I think he's identified that, and his intention has changed. He looks differently physically. I think he trained differently with the mindset that he wants to challenge himself in that area. And we've identified that too. We need more out of him 5-on-5. He's more capable than what he's produced. We believe in that. So we'll push him.
Like a lot of younger guys, the next step it seems for Tage is having a consistency from last year was a little roller coaster. What did he do? How did he do that?
Yeah, with him, as with everybody, habits in practice habits. We see a lot of what happens in games with players happen in practice, both good and bad. So, and I think that's part of, people love to use the term becoming a pro or gaining experience. You see the players that fit that category, they practice just like they play. Every practice matters. Every shot is on net where it should be, taken how it should, as if they're playing in the game. And I think that lags behind sometimes. As a coach, you can see a lot of times a real good indicator or predictor is what the guy's doing in practice. We talked about Jeff Skinner the other day. His practice habits have changed completely. You can see him targeting things that he wants to get done in the game, and as we mentioned, Victor, they're practicing with more intent, and I think for Tage, that's part of a process that's he's within that process.
What were you hoping to gain or get out of tonight? Before you saw it tonight, and what did you get out of it tonight?
Yeah, from the coaching side, it was nice to just watch. I wasn't really watching for any one thing. I know we have the need to. These guys have a need to go through that, maybe getting caught out there in an extended shift. Some more real game-like situation. Some small light stress or anxiety, getting ready for the day, getting themselves prepared for a game. You walked around underneath. It was a little bit of a feel of that, some tension for them. So it's just giving them an opportunity to go through that process. For us as coaches, we're already on to tomorrow's practice and the things we need to do to continue building whatever it may be, systems and situational play, and obviously their conditioning. But this was probably a big part of their conditioning. Player pushing the player with a little bit of pressure. For us as coaches, you can overanalyze it, and we wouldn't do that.
You talked about overstaying shifts, and you reminded me in the prospects challenge. I mean, there was a lot to like from a guy like Laxton on defense. But the one thing I took away too is he many times got you in trouble because he overstayed his shifts out there. And how do you break a player of that?
Well, you hope they eventually get it. I mean, they have to eventually get it because you can't do that. At the NHL level, you can't not have that awareness of how long you've been into your shift and how to get out of it. Making simple plays or putting pucks to areas or being able to buy yourself a little bit of time and space to make a play to get off the ice. So, those are just part of, each guy has different areas to develop. Each guy has different areas that you might see they need to develop in order to play at this level. If we're talking about Laxton specifically, he's a young player, a prospect, and he can benefit from, and he has. He grew through the American League last year, and I thought he showed some real good potential in the rookie tournament, and he's just got to keep chipping away and improving.
Do you think Vinny Nestor was coming here, saw an opportunity to kind of, be that second, third line guy that he's shown flashes he could be in this league?
Yeah, he definitely did. I spoke to him before he signed here, and expressed what I would express to any player. There's no guarantee, but here's what you can expect from us. without giving you a guarantee. You're going to have to compete for it. And he knew the potential of opportunity here. We had obviously a good conversation, and now it's on him to to earn that day in and day out, which he is. He's a fighter. I mean, he's a competitive guy. He has great attributes of quickness and determination. Just he does fit what we need. His intensity. He brings intensity in games. He brings that same intensity in practice. And as I've said many times, we need to get better. And you do that in both realms for us. We have to get better in a game, and we have to get better in practice. And he's a guy that will definitely push the pace in that regard.
You're getting ready to start games. I mean, how does that impact a goalie battle where you have four guys and two from out of the organization, and maybe you have some ideas in pencil, but I mean, how
Yeah.
are you interested to see how this evolves here?
Yeah, I'm going to watch it just like you guys. As far as a goalie battle, we have two guys that clearly are veteran guys, and it's pretty simple. They've got really the first opportunity. They have the better track record at this level, and it's they've we'll be watching those guys, I guess, because they should play. It's their resume says they're the guys who can handle this. UPL is he's absolutely shown maturity and improvement. Getting games last year, you can see he's elevated his self expectation again. It's something we see in practice. He's more confident. He was more confident out there, staring down shooters and being more assertive in net. But obviously, I will state the obvious. You've got Anderson and Dell, and if it started tomorrow, those two guys would be 1 and 2.
The two teams tonight, minus some of the young guys, is most of one team going to Columbus and most of one team going to Detroit, or is it over the next?
Yeah, the games 2 and 3, we're going to try to make sure we get all our returning guys in there because it's a back-to-back. So we more looked at the fact that it's a back-to-back. Probably stay away from guys playing a back-to-back as much as we can early. We have another back-to-back which might be different, but early. And then so we looked at that first, and then we did a lineup for Tuesday. Is it? Yeah. Then we did the lineup for Tuesday. After that, we're still discussing based on the scrimmage tonight who will go in there. But in essence, the practice groups tomorrow will look pretty much like the game for Tuesday.
I was going to have an off-topic housekeeping question. Jimmy Schultz was on your training camp roster. And
Yeah.
been at camp?
He will be involved in camp this week. I think Tuesday. He's cleared to practice, so expect him then.
Was that a vaccine?
I'll have to it wasn't a vaccination, but I'll have to give you a report later on that, Lance. Oh, yeah.
Imagination, or was UPL more vocal tonight? There was no fans. I could hear him playing his day today. It just seemed to me, it struck me that you said assertive.
Yeah.
Were you talking about that too? Was he more vocal with his defense?
Yeah. I didn't see exactly what you saw, Paul, but if you're telling me, if you saw him that, I would say that is a positive, improvement or positive difference to be that assertive. I've seen it in practice. We have seen that in practice. I thought he had a great game in the rookie tournament, which you guys saw. So yeah, I didn't catch on to that tonight, but that is definitely an indication. So maybe he was yelling right at you. Yeah.
Aaron Delvaux, he's a guy, his last 2 years hasn't been great, but I thought he'd work over whatever 5 or 6 years is pretty strong. What do you know about him, and what have you learned? I know it's been a few days, but what have you learned about him so far?
Yeah, he was good. He looked like a experienced NHL goaltender tonight. That was really nice to see. But I don't know a whole lot about him. Obviously, I can do what everybody does in hockey, DB him and talk to our goalie coaches. But the guys that needed to be familiar with how we put our goalies together knew about him, and I have a lot of faith and trust in them. So I'm watching him and learning and taking more in each time as I did tonight. And I thought he was looked confident tonight. Read shooters, read situations very well. Was very efficient in his movement, so I liked what I saw tonight.
Ralph deferred a lot to Mike Bales, and a lot of
I defer everything until I really want to get involved, which could be any moment. I mean, it just is. I can't tell you I have any set in stone way. I talk to Mike a lot, and I give him my input when I feel it. So, I don't claim to know the position as well as goalie coaches. I mean, those guys study it, but there's a lot of other components that go into sports as well, and team and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's you know what, Mike, you get a vibe with these guys every day. You're with them every day. You see their mannerisms. I mean, you guys know that. You watch them every day too, and you pick up on certain things that your hindsight and instincts tell you. And when that's the case, I absolutely run. I run a lot by Mike. And say, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And we have good conversations, and he's real good at what he does. So it's it's good to have him on staff, definitely.
We know Darlene has green light. How aggressive do you want to have your knee, or how is there?
We're hoping he has a yellow light too, by the way. Yeah, that's that discretion. Yeah. Well, like I said, it's tough. Discretion is everything. I mean, again, can I do that or can I not? And discretion is, if you're doing that against a high-end player, it's a higher risk than against an average NHL player, and you got to know that. And so there's so much we can't teach them. They have to learn by that experience. So in essence, there's a lot of guys with that green light in areas they have to learn. It's tough to teach or help a guy develop if you can't see how they're reading and reacting to plays. If we're constraining them all the time and they're worried about pleasing us, it's really difficult to even coach them at that point. So, yeah, I mean, we have to give them that, and I say that sometimes it's unfortunate, but if we want to get to where we want to be, unfortunately, there's going to be mistakes along the way. We just have to be better than others at correcting them faster.
What stood out about Craig Anderson, not only on the ice, but in interactions you may have had or witnessed so far?
Haven't had a lot of interaction with him yet, just with so many guys in camp. Ironically, I had a short interaction with him when I was assistant coach in St. Louis. He's not in hockey DB playing for the Blues, but we had him for about 48 hours, and he was picked back up by another team, I think Chicago at that time. And it was funny, I even talked to him right away. I said, were you not in St. Louis? Because I hockey DB'd him right away. I'm like, I know I was in St. Louis with him, and he wasn't even on there in that. So, I got to meet him then and talk to him briefly then. I've only talked to him briefly in camp, but he's hungry and he's ultra competitive. Those are two things that are huge, and he's still more than capable. I mean, it's clear. Again, you watch him tonight. He moves like a guy that knows that position extremely well. Reads shooters, reads situations. So, obviously, the obvious I think is there. An 82-game season, as guys get a little older, it's tougher, and you got to manage that differently. But as far as his goaltending, I'm excited we have him.
What do you think of the
Officials
officials?
were great. Yeah, they didn't get hurt. Well, Nathan got the puck in the side of the leg or something, so he's a little sore. But he said he loves feeling sore. He misses that, feeling sore in the morning when he wakes up. So he's happy. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.